Hey everyone, welcome to my very first YouTube video. This has been a long time in the making. I wanted to do this for a while and now I finally committed to actually produce some cool content that I hope will be helpful for you and will be interesting to you. And in this video, we're going to talk about a small framework that I've built up this week that I've used to basically evaluate different LLMs and their vision capabilities. So we're looking especially at models that are multimodal, that can do image to text, and we're using structured outputs to basically enhance this whole thing to make it like very easy to deal with these extracted data. And yeah, I hope you're gonna enjoy it and leave me feedback in the comments. And yeah, there's more to come. So let's dive right in. What is this? It's basically a framework to evaluate various vision models for their capability to extract data from invoices, and all this by using structured outputs as the help. And yeah, let's quickly check which models we're going to look at today. I basically collected a couple of the flagship models. So we have OpenAI, we have Anthropic, we have Gemini, which performed surprisingly well. To be honest, I haven't really looked too much at Gemini so far, and yeah, I was really surprised. We also ran Llama and Qwen. I kind of did a mix of Grok and Together AI, which I haven't used before, but yeah, it proved to be quite useful, especially because yeah, I didn't know about Qwen before, and that is another one that really surprised me. So yeah, let's quickly look at maybe the features that we're covering here. So like I said, we have multiple API connectors and we have a model configuration. So this can be easily extended to any amount of new models. And we have a configuration file to basically feed in invoices, and also files to evaluate the quality of the extraction result. But we're going to look at that later. In terms of data management, we have, like I said, we have the evaluation configuration. We store the results of each run currently in a CSV file. I was a bit lazy to also hook up a database, but I think for now this works pretty fine. And otherwise, we track some performance like speed. I wanted to integrate cost, but yeah, the issue is OpenAI makes this easy, but some of the other models are a bit tricky when it comes to actual token usage. So yeah, I leave that one open for now. But some of the models we use are free. Others are, flagship models. So quite pricey. But yeah, we basically want to run each model through each document to get an overview, and I'm going to demo it soon. So yeah, and then for evaluations, I'm currently literally only checking for exact matches. So which you will see later in the results is sometimes maybe not the best approach, because there could be like a semantic match. But yeah, this is another one that will stay on the list for now. So what else do I have to tell you? The tools we used, well, obviously, we used Python. We used Instructor for structured outputs. Why? Because it basically just supports all the different models pretty well. I think the only issues that I had were on Together AI, the vision models. They couldn't do structured outputs, so there I'd run a two-step approach, basically first extracting the data from the image and then running it through GPT-4o Mini to structure it in proper JSON. And then we use FastAPI because we're running a small server also here to basically serve the small dashboard that we have, which we were going to look at in a minute. And yeah, that's about it. So I would say let's jump right into the demo. And after that, we're going to look over the code. I'm going to also share the code in the description so you can check it out and test your own invoices. And yeah, let's dive right in. So here's the dashboard. What we can see here is the example invoices that I've got off from Google, because we don't really want to use like personal data in here, but I've already run a couple of extractions. And yeah, let's check some of these. Let's maybe start with OpenAI. This is still probably one of the best ones, but like you see, when I click this button, I kind of toggle it, and we see the results of the extraction. So quickly to go over it: provider, model GPT-4o here, 100% success rate in extraction, and the inference time was roughly 6 seconds. And then on the left, we see what the model extracted in JSON. And on the right, we see what we've defined to be correct. And that's how the dashboard works. And we see, for example, here GPT-4o Mini, which is obviously much cheaper, performed also pretty well. There's like small hiccups here and there, but still pretty solid result. And also let's jump in invoice 3, which is one with a bit more items. You see they are like on par basically. Just a little hiccup here with the date, which is okay because this could be kind of interpreted both ways depending on the country. All the items perfectly extracted, and yeah, really, really nice. Anthropic, sometimes a little bit off, at least for like quite slow also, and for the cost I would have expected a little bit more. But yeah, they have other pros, I guess. Gemini, really nice, especially this Gemini 2.0. Like, I think it's still free actually. I've ran so many tests across all the models, and I'm still only on a couple of cents on the API cost. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And yeah, like you see, some of these are not really mismatches. Like, I mean, okay, like you could say -50. And same here with the date. And we also have this, for example, 2.0 performed really well. Just a couple of things here on the formatting, but yeah, overall really nice. And then maybe one more that I wanted to mention is Qwen. And this particular one, it didn't perform 100%, but on the others, really nice. Like, yeah, here are some hiccups, but Llama didn't perform really good. But when, especially also in this one where we had like a lot of items, still pretty good. It's pretty spot on. And obviously these invoices are pretty good to read. So there could be some issues when you go into invoices that are photographed and that are not that well readable. But overall, I'm very surprised by the performance of Qwen also. Llama, yeah, it's just not that great. But I guess that's all right. Like, I mean, it's an open source model. It's not on par with these others. And yeah, have a play with this. You can literally run any invoice. I'm going to show you in the code where you have to put everything. And yeah. Okay, so like I said, the code is twofold. Once we have the inference part where we're actually producing the results that we just looked at, and you can basically do all the providers together or do specific ones. And then we have these two config files, one to basically configure all the models that we want to run through, and the other one to configure the documents. And the documents are then in here, where we basically have the image and we have the JSON with the correct extraction. So we can check it against it later. And looking at the main function, we basically only load all the settings. So we're loading the document config, we're loading the invoices, we're loading the models, and then we run over all the possible combinations. And we have for each provider, we have like an inference class. I mean, the implementations are pretty similar, I'd say. But like some of them have like small differences. So yeah, we basically have this inference class where we attach the image as a base64. Maybe to quickly show this also, when we actually, this is in the config. When we produce the invoice input, we have this super simple prompt, which really surprised me in the beginning. I was thinking I will have to do a lot of prompting, but to be honest, the structured outputs and the pydantic data types did the job for me. So we're just putting the image in base64, and then we're gonna just pass it on to OpenAI for inference. And then I'm counting the tokens, but yeah, I'm currently using egg token, which is mostly for OpenAI packages. And yeah, I'm using it on all the models now, but I think it's probably not the best solution. But let me know in the comments if you basically know maybe a better solution for that, because in my research I couldn't really find something nice. Like I would wish there would be like a good solution, like a good overall solution, but for now we're not doing it. And yeah, once we have the results from let me maybe show also the data types. So how this basically works for instructor, maybe to also switch back here, we're passing in the input data, we're passing already the result. Sorry, we're passing the response model, and we are defining the response model here in the data types. So basically, we're just defining simple types of the invoice and invoice items in there. And we can give little hints to the model also with the field annotation. So for example, that we want to have the date structured in a certain way. We want the state in like a 2-letter state code. We want the city without the state, and yeah, just guiding the model a little bit into the right direction. We can also apply some defaults, what I've done for like the fields where not all the invoices have them, but only some. Yeah, we can just provide some defaults. So when the model doesn't track something, we can simply take the default value. And once we've done the extraction, all that's left to do is basically running it through the evaluation. So at this point, we're gonna evaluate the model results once we've processed them. And the evaluation is basically just a very simple run over all the different comparisons of the fields. And like I said, we're basically only checking for like an absolute match. And yeah, we're then passing on any potential errors to the model, to the main function. And then we're just gonna produce a report in the end. That is basically just writing a CSV file. And exactly, this CSV file is stored. And then later with this little API here, we're gonna serve this CSV file. And this is basically using FastAPI to load the CSV file. And yeah, we'll then serve it. We have the few options to filter. I can sort by different fields. And yeah, gonna just serve a JSON, and then we have this very simple dashboard here, which literally just is like an index.html. Yeah, basically what you've seen in the demo. We have a little bit of JavaScript here to load the invoices, and basically that's it. And like I said, I'm gonna attach the code for you to check it out. I would be very curious to see what kinds of results you can achieve with this. I know from experience with like past projects where we've actually worked on invoices that were also like sometimes photographed or scanned and like less optimal quality, that this can get quite tricky, especially when you want to get like the real, like the details right. Like you want to extract like different tax rates, and you maybe want to extract payment terms, and it can get a little messy. But I think this just speaks to how good these models already are, and not only the flagship models, but also some of the like cheaper models that you can maybe even self-host. And yeah, all right. I hope you enjoyed this first video of mine. They will get better. But yeah, for now, I will leave you with the code in the comments. I will also leave some of the references that I found to the tools that I've used here. And yeah, check the code out and try some of your own invoices. Give me some feedback and see you in the next video.